air duct.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody just calm down.
Hello, and welcome to the Full Stand Half Bass Podcast, episode number 57. Tonight, we're going to be doing a full Daytona recap 500, all the companion races that went with that from Trucks, ARCA, and Xfinity, as well as go over the predictions for this week's Atlanta race for the Cup Series, Trucks, and Xfinity. And we'll also be going over some news, and then also the 24 hours of Le Mans entry list has been announced today. So we'll go over some of the notable drivers on that entry list, as well as maybe a little bit of extra stuff here towards the end, including our watch party for the month of March, which that poll is out now on our channel. So we'll go over, make sure you guys understand which races we are going to be covering. Alrighty, I think we're going to do something a little different here tonight. I think we're going to start off with the Daytona 500 race review. Before we do that, I'll just recap the duels real quick. So duel 1. The major incident was the crash on lap 10 involving particularly Jimmy Johnson, who had to race his way into the Daytona 500. Him and JJ Yaley battled towards the end of this race. And then, I don't know, maybe a little bit of teamsmanship, I guess, there by Eric Jones. I think what we saw through the telemetry is he ends up hitting the brakes there at the end, really slowing up that outside line, really cost JJ Yaley an attempt at the 500, and Jimmy Johnson snuck in. And Tyler Reddick ends up winning the duel number 1. Duel number 2 was pretty much the same as duel number 1. Our major incident was on lap 14, taking out multiple contenders like Blaney, Byron, Kyle Busch, etc. And then Bell ends up winning with the last lap pass on Denny Hamlin to secure duel race number 2. And Kaz Grala beat BJ McLeod by a few car lengths there to secure his spot into the Daytona 500. Alrighty, that's the duels pretty much recapped there. Anything you want to add to the duels before we get into the Daytona 500 here, Tom?
No, I really don't.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was what it was. Yeah. Basically, the duels of modern day NASCAR. Alrighty, so we'll get right into the Daytona 500 here. We had Logano and McDowell start on pole from Wednesday, and they locked themselves onto the front row. Our first major incident of the race was on lap 5. We saw Keselowski give kind of a poor push there to Harrison Burton, turned him down the track in a Hocevar, collecting Austin Dillon, Kaz Grala as well. Jimmy Johnson, I believe, was also involved in that, lost some laps. And that kind of changed the complexion of this race. And it was for a good way, I guess. After this caution, everybody goes into a little bit of strategy. We had a few guys stay out, like Blaney, I believe Bell. There's another one at the time as well that stayed out. But it turned into kind of a fuel-saving race for about 20 laps there. Everybody was just running super slow in a 2-line kind of a pace lap for 20 laps there. But then the vibe kind of changed because we had green flag pit stops. And then that's when the race kind of changed in the portion where we saw Toyotas and Fords pit. We saw Chevys pit different times. The Chevys all cycled to the front of the field. And what really, really, really bugs me is stage racing in modern day NASCAR, particularly in this Daytona 500. We had an amazing race shaping up stage-wise, or with strategy-wise in this race. We saw the Chevys really capitalize and execute on pit lane, take control of this race. The Fords, Toyotas were behind them and really didn't execute on pit lane as good as the Chevys, really. Um, the storyline of this race, without a stage caution, a stupid stage caution, damn stage caution, ruined this race, in my opinion. We would have had the storyline as, can the Fords and Toyotas master the strategy to get back to contend with the Chevys? Can the Chevys continue to execute and run this strategy out and be able to stay out in front of this field as far as they were in front of the field? Unfortunately, we have to have a manufactured stage caution break, whatever BS that was, ruin the strategy portion of this race. And then it was pretty much straightforward from there. Back to fuel saving in stage 2, side by side, double side racing. Just not a lot of action going on there. Unfortunate. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole strategy racing getting ruined by a stage break? It seems like this is NASCAR now. Well, you have to live with it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch a lot of the beginning of the race. I was still at work and dealing with uh, some of the big daddy stuff over there. But um, regardless, we've seen stages just absolutely kill NASCAR in the past couple years. Um, I think as like a true race fan, I think we can all appreciate strategy races. We can appreciate, um, you know, uh, gambling on strategy. I think we can also appreciate a good comeback story too. But I don't really know where that line is with stage cautions. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Like I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt to NASCAR and their decision to continue with stage cautions. It's I'm trying to make sense, like make it make sense. Um because damn Jay, was it some good racing or what?
Yeah, it
Like it
was.
was
It was amazing.
and yeah, a manufactured caution. It's not stage cautions. It is a straight up manufactured trying to create drama. And I'm all for drama, but it's like that. Here we go. It's like that one lady when we were doing the Daytona duels, and it was the introduction of Kevin Harvick
Hmm.
to the broadcast booth, trying way too hard. And I feel like it's the same thing that applies.
Yeah, I agree.
I can go on forever.
Yeah,
Honestly, I can. It's
I
it's
agree.
just
I
it's
agree.
just terrible.
Yeah, and we've said it in the past, like stage racing in modern day NASCAR. I mean, stage points are a necessity, and it is a good thing that they have that to reward people points throughout the race. We do not need a caution. That's just a fact. And we saw last year with the road course races how great those races played out without stage cautions, and they didn't learn anything from it. So, all right, now we get into stage 2. Or stage 1 winner was Chase Elliott. Stage 2 winner Ryan Blaney. And again, same kind of thing in stage 2. The racing at the beginning of the stage was a lot of fuel saving, and then we ended up getting into strategy again. We saw lots of different strategy being played. We saw Fords, Toyotas, and Chevys. Teammates weren't able to pit with each other because the way that they were lined up through this fuel saving, drafting, whatever you call that, racing. And then it played out like it was going to be some craziness again, and then another manufacturer stage caution. So then we get into stage 3, and we get the big one on lap 9. Everybody's reaming Bowman and Byron for this wreck, but I don't think you can blame anybody. That's just a product that we're at now. I mean, if Bowman was to lift there and not hit Byron, he's the one that's getting wrecked because he's got the push from behind. And then, I mean, you can't blame anybody there. That's just what it is, right?
But that's a product of pack racing,
Yeah.
and that's what the fans supposedly want. Bring back tandem, bring back tandem racing, tandem drafting. That's what I'm about, baby.
Yeah, and I think the drivers would love it too. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think any of the drivers appreciated driving at half throttle all the way around the track for 100 something laps. I mean, side by side gridlocked. I mean, that's not fun. That's not fun for
No.
them. Like, that's not fun for the fan. And then the fans, the fans, the problem is the fans see it and they're like, oh, they're side by side. Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's like, yeah, but they're not doing anything. We want to
Yeah,
see
nothing's
runs
happening.
develop. We want to see
I
a
mean,
third lane. We want to see good cars be able to make their way to the front. We want to see cars through strategy have to do rebounds and stuff to get back to the front. We want to see people trying to maintain track position. That's what we want to see.
it's
At least
like
I want to see that.
NASCAR is just giving the opportunity for fans to take a drink of their beer after they go ape shit while the cars go by after they're done screaming. So then they could take a drink of their beer and then here they come back around again and they could do it all over again. 200 laps.
You're not wrong. Oh man. So yeah, that caution changed the complexion of this race because we saw all of your heavy hitters get taken out. I mean, Kyle Busch, uh,
Because
Keselowski, Logano. I mean, really
Hamlin.
all your best all your best race cars were taken out there. Set it up to one of these little. I think it was like a 3 or 4 lap shootout to the end, and it caution with 1 to go. Uh, Chastain, Cindric end up wrecking there, going for the win. And then we had Byron and Bowman drag race to the finish, cautions out. And then they declare Byron the winner with no context or visual or anything to do with it. Then they just give Byron the win. I guess my biggest takeaway here is the photo that NASCAR released after the fact is so subjective. It's so subjective. I don't know, Tom, if you saw the photo from the other side. They have another video footage
Yeah.
from Fox's broadcast from the alternate perspective of the one that NASCAR posted, and that one shows Bowman ahead. You go to the onboard video of Bowman's car, and he is ahead when the caution light comes on. In the NASCAR rulebook, NASCAR even made a video, and it says when the lights are illuminated, that's when the winner is decided. One photo out of 100 shows Byron subjectively ahead of Bowman. I guess I'm just devastated. I'm just heartbroken. I mean, the last 2 years for Alex Bowman have just been awful. Whether it's been injuries, concussions, back injuries, sidelined, points penalties from card problems or whatever Big Daddy NASCAR decides. It's just been tough. Finally has a chance to win something, and it just feels like it got taken away. And I'm not. It's not even just the fact that it was Bowman. I've been heartbroken the last couple of years with a lot of series. I mean, go back to the Go for 50 last year when Hudson O'Neal beats Bobby Pierce to the line, and they give the win to Bobby Pierce. Go back to last year's Indy 500. We do a 1-lap shootout to the finish. Why are we doing a 1-lap shootout to decide an Indy 500? It's so lame. I'm gutted still to this day for Marcus Ericsson over that. That was just absolute crap, and I hate that. And then we get the Rolex 24 this year, and not that the outcome would have changed, but look, let's finish the dang event. We are getting 2 laps to go, and then it's over, and I feel like I got left in the dark, and I want Tom to say this because I know Tom does not agree with my take here, and I respect his take, and I understand where he's coming from, but my thought is if we do have a caution on a wreck on the last lap, we do need to bring the safety vehicles out. It is a concern. But why can't we just put a alternate start finish line somewhere on the backstretch? Why can't we have them race to a certain line to decide the race? Why are we going off of video footage and trying to sync up a button to lights to a video footage to figure out who wins the race? Let's just get rid of that. Let's put an alternative start finish line on the back. So if they wreck in 3 and 4, we race back to the backstretch. That gives them plenty of time to slow down for safety vehicles to come on the track. If we wreck on the backstretch, let's let them race the front stretch. It still gives them the opportunity to slow down, get safety vehicles out to the backstretch. And then Tom, I mean, if you want to expand on this, you brought up an amazing point. In that incident there was no reason that anybody should have thought that Chastain or Cindric was in danger. And I 100% agree with that. I mean, you want to expand on that?
Well, I'd like to clarify a little bit because I was seeing red because I saw the Daytona 23 hours once again, and it just absolutely floored me. But this is what I will say. If let's go back, I think it was the 2020 Daytona 500 with Ryan Newman. Let's go back to that. right? So let's just say they were taking the white flag. Ryan Newman had his horrible accident. That is absolute reason to stop the race. Okay. Instantly, when we saw Ryan Newman hit the wall and go up on his side, we're done. We need to make sure that Ryan Newman is okay. Right. And luckily for us, I mean, as a race fan, we did get to see the finish of that race, which turned out to be an amazing finish. Um, but I mean, we need to make sure in situations like that that the drivers are okay. I do still believe though that how we finished the Daytona 500 yesterday was not the best way to go about that. Now, not in a single doubt in my mind when that wreck was happening, I was like, I said to myself, "Holy cow, we need to make sure that these drivers are okay." Not once, and that might be a little uh, cruel of me to say that, but I mean, and maybe I didn't see the whole thing or whatever. I'm just saying it looks kind of fishy from my side, given the Indy 500, given the Daytona 23:58:36, given the Bobby Pierce incident, and there's a lot to say there. Now, how I really want to explain this all though, and just bear with me a little bit, okay? Because I was talking about this with a couple coworkers today, and I was like, NASCAR. So just bear with me for a second. Okay, think you save up all this money, right? You've been planning to buy a new truck for about 5 years. You finally have the cash. You go to a Toyota dealership. You go and pick out your favorite vehicle in the world. It's a Toyota Tacoma. Comes with a nice big V6. Well, not big V6, but the V6 that comes in it now. And you just think the world of this truck. It's great. Awesome. You don't even test drive it. You just throw the cash in their face. You get in the truck. You go for a drive, and it's your favorite truck. But then you kind of figure out, man, this truck's kind of gutless. What the heck is happening here? It's kind of sluggish. It sucks. The power in this is terrible. What do you mean I can't even tow my boat with it? That's terrible. It's a truck, you know? And then you look down at your dash and it's like, why the hell am I getting 12 miles a gallon? Right? And you're like, what the hell is going on here? What did I just purchase? This thing is terrible. So, where I'm getting to this is Toyota, a Toyota V6. You get the power of an inline four and the fuel mileage of a V8. All right? That's how I feel like with NASCAR right now. You get this brand new truck. You're like, hell yeah, man, I worked hard for this. This is awesome. And then you're like, shit, it only has the power of an inline four? And then you're like, what the hell's going on? I only get the gas mileage of a V8? And then you're left with this truck that you don't even like anymore. I feel like I've invested a lot of time into this sport of NASCAR to not only get robbed of a 24-hour race, to get robbed of a 500-mile race, to get robbed of adding more horsepower to, or not adding more horsepower to a car, but looking into other continents to go race there. The 40th anniversary of Hendrick Motorsports, and somehow we get this deal with the 24 car winning. Fishy or not, look at it on a bowl or on a plain face. Okay, just by itself, just look at it because it's worth considering. And then on top of this, manufactured racing, stage cautions. There's no more strategy to this racing. There's no more. I feel like there's no more driver input. I feel like it's all based on what NASCAR wants to happen, and it's all based around the Toyota V6. And that's what I really thought about all day. I'm not gonna lie.
I like your comparison. Yeah, I'm gutted I was talking, so next to sim race, that's Steven in the chat. He says, or use actual timing transponders in the car. That's a good point too, but then again, you have the go for 50 issue. That's how they screwed up Hudson O'Neal out of that win at the go for 50 when Hudson O'Neal definitely beat him to the line. My thing is I am ready for IndyCar.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Formula One. I've invested pretty much my entire life into NASCAR, and I am getting just tired of it. Like I it's when it's like senioritis. That's what I have right now. I've put all this time, I've worked my tail off, my butt off, invested all this time into it, man, and it's just like I've been pumping it and promoting it on this channel and like talking so good about it. I mean, yes, we say bad things about it, but that's expected. But we mostly talk good about the sport. We talk good about what we got. The drivers are amazing. And it's like we've worked so hard to get to this point. And it is what it is now. And it's just accept it. It's just where we're at in this sport, where we're at in this league. And then you got teams begging for more money and NASCAR shutting the door on them. It's just like we're headed for a split in NASCAR. I hate to tell everybody that, but it's gonna happen. 1 second. I've already lost your audio here, Tom.
Time.
All right, I think we got you back. What were you saying there, Tom?
I just don't forget the charters.
Yeah, and the charters, that's another thing. Yeah. It's everything. It's everything anymore. And not that IndyCar is going to be any better, not that Formula 1's going to be any better, but what was our big thing all off season, Tom? We are in the golden age of motorsports. Like if you look at what they're doing in IMSA and WEC right now with the amount of manufacturer involvement, investment in team interest, and then you look at the other spectrum with Formula 1 not wanting to add new teams. And then IndyCar doesn't know what they want to do. They've been trying to go international. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit. But I mean, IndyCar's in this rough spot right now. We don't know where they're gonna go. Like, and they've got all this opportunity to go somewhere, and then NASCAR just again with making just all these decisions. I don't know. I feel like we could go on and on about this, but yeah, Tom's acknowledge is perfect.
Can I also add one more thing here? So, what happened the last lap of the Xfinity race?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're right. You're right.
Can we get some consistency? Can we at least through all the BS Big Daddy Toyota V6 crap, can we at least get some consistency?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is it that hard?
Well, that's what I was gonna say when we did the Xfinity recap with the Sheldon Creed thing, with how he lifted at the end of that race. I'm glad you bring that up now. Might as well talk about it now. They've conditioned these drivers so much that they
Yes.
lift at the end of a race. I mean, you've got these guys conditioned in their brains that like, there's a wreck, it's over, we just stop. Like, it's
Yeah, it
so
looked
bad.
like it. Well, you bring up a great point because it looked like Creed just gave up.
That's what it looked
You
like,
know,
but I
well,
don't think
yes,
that's what
but
it was.
I don't think so either. I think you're right. I think this that is just a product of what NASCAR has drilled and instilled into the drivers' brains. And maybe I'm just making a far out excuse for Sheldon Creed because the MFR hasn't won a damn race yet.
I
But
know.
it doesn't matter. I agree with that. I think that NASCAR has taken it too far to the point where we're instilling into the drivers that, oh, there's a wreck on the track on the last lap. Shit, back it down, save the car. You know, and
Yeah.
I am just so freaking disappointed. I felt like I waited. I talked this whole year up about how awesome it's going to be across all series, and we go out the Daytona 23 hours, and then we go out the Daytona 497.5, and it's just ah,
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. And that's why I want to talk about I guess the last thing we should say though is William Byron did win the Daytona 500. And nothing against William Byron. The cards were dealt the way they were. William Byron is an exceptional talent. I've been comparing him to the next Jeff Gordon. I love William Byron. I'm a huge supporter of William Byron. I have nothing against William Byron. It wasn't his fault this situation happened. And he is a well-deserving Daytona 500 champion. Say what you will. This guy is a deserving Daytona 500 champion, and congratulations to him. I know it might have looked bad in the moment, but that was our instant natural reaction. I even posted that video today just because I wanted that to be on the record book of our natural reaction. But that gives us an opportunity here on Tuesday to come back with the congratulations, William Byron, right? And you do you agree with me with that sentiment? Like William
Yeah,
Byron's a
I do.
deserving champion.
Look, we're about to see we're about to see a dynasty out of that 24 car. I really do think so. And we've even said it last year, even when we were playing our fantasies. Uh, I said it every week. If you want a consistent points getter for your fantasy, you choose the 24 car every week. Every week, you can count on that 24 car scoring a lot of points. Every week. It doesn't matter where you go. The 24 car is going to score a lot of points. And he was almost week in and week out the top scorer based on stage points and finish. That was just the start. I think this year is the year of William Byron. I honestly thought last year was the year of William Byron, and they just missed it a little last year in Phoenix. I think
Mhm.
if he had just had a little bit more, I think absolutely William Byron would have been the champion. And quite frankly, kind of deserved to be the champion. Just Ryan Blaney played it out a little bit better than the 2014. But um, I think you got to lose one to
Yep.
win one,
Yep.
and this year is William Byron's year.
Yep.
I
24 and
really do.
24. Yep.
And let's call it. Let's call it. What are we saying?
I,
William Byron champion?
I picked him in the offseason to win the championship. That was the
Yeah.
first person I picked. I said last year
Yep.
before Phoenix race, like Tom just said, you have to lose one before you can win one. You have to.
Yep.
You have to.
Yep.
It's just the way it goes. You have to learn from your mistakes. And even Jimmy Johnson, he lost like 3 of them before he ended up winning 5 in a row. I mean, I think I think Byron's going to learn from all his mistakes that last year. He's going to win it this year. I mean, I think we both picked William Byron in the offseason
Yeah.
for the championship. So yeah, I think it's definitely William Byron's year. So congratulations again, William Byron. I mean, I'm so happy for Hendrick. I'm happy for William Byron. Happy for Jeff Gordon. I'm just gutted as a racing fan and as someone who pulls for the underdogs, especially Alex Bowman, who's like the ultimate underdog at the best team in NASCAR. So that's just the way I feel. But we'll get into some news next. Let's get on a lighter note here because I don't want to start crying on this podcast. I didn't sleep at all last night. I've watched that so many times through. I'm just gutted. All right, but David Malukas is out for 6 weeks due to a surgery that he did here in the offseason. I can't remember who it was that replaced him. I have to look back at the Discord. I'm blanking out now.
Sure, let me see it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look. I should have wrote it down. I thought I had it in my head. I was like, I got it, and then I completely blanked out.
I had it too, and I just lost
Yeah,
it.
so
Callum Ilott.
yeah, Callum Ilott. That's right. I like Callum Ilott. I'm excited for him to. He's running Super Formula this year, and now he's gonna be. I believe he'll probably be starting the first couple races of the week in IndyCar for McLaren in that number 5 car, or is he in the 5, 6, 7, something like that? I don't even know what number he's in, but he'll be starting the first few races in replacement for Malukas, I believe, first few races. So that's good news. I'm excited to see what he can do, and hoping David Malukas has a fast recovery because he is going to have a good season once he comes back. Also, IndyCar rules out a non-point All-Star-esque race at Argentina in the country of Argentina, which is again, I mean, I want to see IndyCar go international. I want to see IndyCar take the next step. And then for whatever reason, they backed out of an opportunity to go to Argentina, or they shut down all rumors to go in Argentina. I mean, I the way I see IndyCar in the future with way F1 is going and how they want to even get rid of teams that they already have and not add any new teams. I mean, IndyCar right now, if they could market better, if they can do the fan experience better, if we could take it international, I think IndyCar could contest Formula One as a premier racing series in the world. What are your thoughts? Like, what do you think IndyCar needs to do?
Absolutely, they need to go international. Look, we've seen IndyCar and kart go international, and it be a huge success. I mean, look at where the drivers are from
Mhm.
in the starting roster for this year. I mean, you know, in fact, it would be kind of cool. Like, hear me out. Why don't we go and host a race in the championship winners country? Wouldn't it be so freaking sweet to go to like New Zealand, Australia, uh, wherever the heck Marcus Ericsson's Swedish. We go to Sweden, or Brazil, something Mexico, something like that. That would be freaking sweet. You could get all the fans that are so nationalists when it comes to their drivers. Just cater to them, man. That'd be awesome. I don't care if an American driver wins the championship or not. I care about how the sport caters to their fans and does it the right way. The right way would be to go and set up a race for them. Why not? Everybody would love it. And let's be kind of honest here, okay? The only team that would probably struggle to get their cars there would maybe be Delcoin. And with an association like IndyCar, Roger Penske at the helm, it wouldn't be a problem. You know, I think it's completely doable.
Yeah, I
I think
agree.
it's kind of a crime that we don't do that, to be honest.
Hmm. Well, and I think it's a crime that we're not going to the oceanic continent to go to Australia or New Zealand. I mean, we have Will Power, Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin,
Yes.
all from that area, either New Zealand or Australia. Why? And we don't even go and have a race there. I mean, that is a crime in itself. If we don't have a race in the oceanic, or if we don't go to Japan, or if we are not racing in South America, or shoot, let's even go to Spain. I mean, I feel like Spain would be a good venue.
Yeah.
I, and especially with Australia and New Zealand, like those are the most diehard racing fans in the world from any country. They care more about racing there than I think they care about major stick and ball sports. I mean, it's real.
Yep. And you know what? And let's look at it from this perspective, Jay. What has Scott Dixon brought to the sport of IndyCar?
Yeah,
The
fans.
absolute world.
Yeah.
The absolute world. He has brought the world to IndyCar. Let's repay him before he retires.
Yes.
That is an obligation to IndyCar.
Yeah, him and Will Power, they're both going to be out here in the next couple
yeah,
of years.
absolutely.
Let's have a race for both of
Absolutely.
them right there. And I guarantee it would be the most packed out race in the IndyCar schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be insane.
And let's talk about some of the most diehard motorsports fans in the world. Australia,
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand.
Yeah, and it's not even debatable. It's not even close. I mean, in America, we don't have the luxury of motorsports being our most popular sport. It doesn't. It isn't a
Dude, we
thing.
had people who were staying up till 3 a.m. to watch the
Our
freaking
watch party.
Xfinity race to watch Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah,
Where's the Americans at?
yeah. I don't care. Yeah, yeah. You can't even get a NASCAR fan to watch an Xfinity race. Like,
You can't get a NASCAR fan to watch anything but NASCAR. They won't watch IndyCar, even if it's on an oval. They
mhm,
won't watch IMSA. They won't watch WEC. They won't watch F1. They
no.
won't watch V8 supercars. I mean, to me, that's just kind of close-minded.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
it's true. I mean, you're not wrong at all. I mean, it's crazy to me. But
yeah.
also in the IndyCar realm, schedule change for the IndyCar season finale. They're not going to be racing on the streets of Nashville this year. They're moving it to the Nashville Super Speedway, and this was in cause of the city with the new Titan Stadium being made. I think this is a huge dub, and the reason I say this is I'm not a huge fan of the Nashville street course. Tom, he's made it apparent he's not a huge fan of it either. And we don't have a super speedway oval on the schedule really this year besides Indianapolis. We lost Texas. I think in an ideal world, right, we'd have 18 races and we'd have like 6 of each, 6 ovals, 6 streets, 6 road. But we don't have an ideal world. But I mean, I think it's a big dub. I think that if you need to take the IndyCar to the oval for the finale, that's going to open the door up for a championship battle. We're going to have one amazing championship battle come down to the final race again because it does it every year in IndyCar. We always have an amazing championship battle, and now we're going to do it on the oval. What are your thoughts on the Indy Oval or the Nashville Oval instead of the street course?
I've heard both sides. And here's what I'm gonna say about it. Um, if it's anything like Iowa, I don't think it's gonna be good. I think if it's anything like Mid Ohio, if it's anything like uh, uh, I don't know, Road America, I think that it might be okay. I don't know. I don't think that. I mean, we go to what? We go to Milwaukee this year. We go to St.
Gateway.
Louis this year.
Yep.
Um, and St. Louis it's just an okay race, I guess. But these cars, right? So these cars, I just don't think they have a good short track oval package. And I honestly think that they're going to be using that short track oval package for uh, Nashville. I could be wrong, but I do think that they are going to be using that. But I don't know. Look, I'll watch it. I'll be in support of it till now, for now, and we'll just see, man. And it's kind of like the whole NASCAR streaming deal that they have for mid-season sort of deal. I said it since the beginning. Let's just see how it works out, and then I'll make an opinion on it. Just my opinion. Um, I feel like the same thing applies for the Nashville race. I just don't know. I'll let's watch it first. Let's see how it unfolds in the race. I just really hope that it's not just going to be single filed desperation for clean air, dirty air all over the place kind of racing.
Yeah. No, I like your take on that for sure. I mean, you were more of the let's see what happens, kind of not optimistic but not negative either. And I'm
Yeah.
just kind of being hopeful optimism, I guess. I don't know. That's just kind of how I am. I was like, with the way the season started, I'm just like anything that could potentially be good. I'm just gonna be optimistic about it because I'm either gonna break my heart or I'm gonna just be super over the moon and be bragging about it.
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's just the way I feel at this point. I don't know. Next sim race says Malaysia and all other island countries in that region are huge racing fans. Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Yeah, the oceanic continent is racing. I mean, that is what it is. I mean, that's
It's
the
kind of
hub.
all they got. Hey, have you actually seen some of the videos on YouTube of what they drag race? It's like
Dude.
it's like death traps that they put two-stroke diesels on, and it's just like wire frame cages that they're mounting shit on. It's crazy.
They're
These
nuts,
guys are
man.
nuts.
They're nuts, dude. They're nutty, man. I love it. Man. And then Steven also says, I'm excited for Mid Ohio's repave. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, me
It's
too.
gonna be so racy this year. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah. Mid Ohio is just one of those races. You just know you're gonna have a good race. I mean, even when the
Yeah.
Xfinity went there, you knew it was gonna be a good race. It's a great track. I mean, the facilities might not be great, but the racing
It's
product's
terrible.
good. Yeah.
The track facilities are stuck in like 1880.
Yeah. And then one more right here. He says, "I've sold plenty of parts to guys in that part of the world." Lol. Yeah, that's awesome. I love the oceanic continent for the racing factor. Take inspiration here in America. We need to be as rowdy as those guys are about their people. I love it. Alrighty, and then one more thing with the IndyCar world, we got the Takuma Sato entering the Indy 500 with Rahal Letterman Lanigan. All I gotta say about that is we're up to 33 entries now that I've counted, confirmed. But Bonsai's back! Hell yeah!
Bonsai.
Hell yeah! I love it. I love Takuma Sato. He is such a great ambassador for IndyCar. He's what makes me love Indy 500 the last like 5-6 years. Like I just wake up in that morning and I'm like, Takuma's on the track. We're gonna see some crazy like bonsai full send moving to turn one, and he'll do it with no regard at all. And I love it. I
Yeah.
love the aggression. He's the
Yeah.
guy, man. I'm already saying it now. He's my dark horse pick to win the Indy 500, and I'm saying that today. We're not even close to the race yet. We haven't seen him on track. Oh man. All right, and then one more thing. Kyle Busch signs a 5-race truck deal with Spire starting this weekend at Atlanta. So we will get to see some more KFB in the Truck Series this year, and it's always awesome to see Kyle Busch. I don't know why he chose Atlanta. Maybe that was the only one available to him, but we'll see. All right, I think we should recap all the rest of the races this weekend. Let's start off with the truck race on Friday, the Fresh from Florida 250. We saw Ty Majeski qualify on pole, and we had a lap 6 crash. I feel like that was the theme of the weekend. It seemed like every race this weekend we had a wreck within the first 6 laps. And I want to nominate our first bonehead move here to Thad, T-Had, Moffitt. This guy, man, he was probably 200, 300, 400 yards behind this wreck, and he still ends up finding a way to be involved. Unbelievable. If you're Richard Petty's grandson, I mean, you've got to carry that a little bit better than that. I mean, unbelievable. He made it so comical for me. I was dying. I think I texted Tom right away. I was like, Tom, bonehead move of the week. Unbelievable. Johnny Sauter, this was Tom's dark horse pick. He ends up winning stage 1. He was looking really good. And then Tyler Ankrum ends up rotating to the front of the field with Eckes there. I want to get your opinion on Tyler Ankrum. I can't stand this guy. This guy was an absolute wrecking ball in this race. He runs over Ben Rhodes at one point, runs over Johnny Sauter, runs over his teammate. I mean, this guy can't win a damn thing. Win stage 2.
Ankrum.
What's your opinion of this guy?
I remember you and I were watching that Kansas race back in 15 or 16, sorry. Pretty sure it was Kansas. It might have been Kentucky.
Yeah, it was one of them, yeah.
And it was his rookie year in an underfunded car, absolutely whip the field at the end of that race and just win it. And it was like, holy cow, where did this guy come from, you know? And he actually did good that year. Like he was a formidable driver. He was one to be reckoned with, right? Where's that guy?
Yeah.
Where is he? Where is this guy that we witnessed way back when? What happened? It's almost like Tyler Ankrum is like the Harrison Burton of the Truck Series.
Yeah.
Well, at least Tyler Ankrum, you know, it's kind of up front, but Harrison Burton, on the other hand, wow. But anyways, I don't know. I had high hopes for this guy way back when. It's almost like he shows up to every race weekend, finding out that his dog died, and that's how he races.
Oh, man. That's a great analogy, dude.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Man. No, I'm with you. And he's had great equipment, and he's gone. Like we joke about Joey Logano being on a milk cart. I think this guy's been on one for years now, and he is lost, man.
Yeah, he is lost.
Yeah. And then to speak with that, same thing. Ends up making contact with Ben Rhodes. His tire goes down. And let's talk about Tony Breininger. Oh my goodness. What a damn good race she had going. Unbelievably good race. She was up in the front the whole race. Her crew chief was putting her off strategy, and she'd still find a way to drive back up to the top 10, top 15. Just doing what she needed to do. Log laps. She hasn't made that many truck starts. Just outperforming really what her expectations were. Doing a phenomenal job. And then, unfortunately, Ben Rhodes, I feel bad for Ben Rhodes because he tried so hard to not have this tire go down in front of these guys. And he was trying to get to the outside line, and instead of letting him get to the outside line, the leaders decided to split him, put Ben Rhodes in a really bad spot. And he tried his hardest not to do that. But makes contact with Tony Breininger and takes her tire down. Takes her car and basically ruined their race from there. I mean, it's just too much damage.
I'd also like to comment that whole truck race up until that point, she had to drive through every accident on track and did it absolutely masterfully. You couldn't have asked for a better driver through those accidents than Tony Breininger. I mean, seriously, go back to every wreck in the Truck Series up until that point at Daytona. She was in them. Not in them like wrecking, she was driving through them. Unbelievable what she was able to do that night. And just damn, it's a crime, man. She's so damn good, and nobody's talking about her, man. Terrible.
I know. I've got a comment to make here at the end of this Xfinity race. Don't let me forget. Just don't let me forget. Just
Okay.
mention Breidinger, Decker, something to that effect at the end of the Xfinity talk here.
Okay.
If in case I forget, I got a good thing to bring up here. What other moments were there to really talk about here in the truck race? We had a huge wreck at the end of this race. I mean, again, Ankrum was
Record
involved.
amount of cautions.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I want to do next. Let's talk about the winner, and then we'll talk about how terrible the truck series is. So, I picked it. My dark horse pick, Nick Sanchez. Nick Sanchez is my boy. I'm here for it. I love this guy, man. He is going to make the championship for it. He is going to be a contender for the championship. Mark my word right here. Episode 57, Full Send Half Mast Podcast. Last time I said this, everything worked out, so I'm going to say it again. Take my damn word. Mark this down. Timestamp it. Nick Sanchez is going to be competing for a championship at the end of this season. He wins his first career race. And then how about Rajah Caruth? He ends up coming home P3. Corey LaJoie, I think, set up that final wreck there. I think that was just bad pushing. I mean, but then again, like I said with the Byron and Bowman in the big wreck in the Cup Series, it's just a product of this racing. I mean, you can't lift with 2 to go. You got to just keep pushing. So, yeah. Thoughts? Nick Sanchez finished the race. Rajah, etc. What are your thoughts?
Man, I really was pushing for Rajah there at the end. He made a fatal mistake. He did. Whether you want to look at it or not, he look at it like that or not, he did. He made a fatal mistake. But you know what? The kid's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's still learning, especially at these super speedway tracks. It's so hard to judge what the car's going to do in the draft, coming out of the draft, coming back in the draft, where the car's going to go, etc., etc. I know I'm making excuses, but I really do believe Rajah Caruth has a lot of talent, and I'm willing to hold out a little bit longer on Rajah. He's in a good ride this year. I mean, he's basically in a KBM car or truck, and we know how good those KBM trucks are. So we can thoroughly say that this year could be the year of Rajah Caruth. Unfortunately, we only have one race to judge this year so far, but damn, he was running good, and it's just the finish was okay. Like I said, I really wanted to see Rajah Caruth, but man, Nick Sanchez, it's his year. It's his year too. Yeah. I just, I'm on the heartbreak train of Tony Breidinger. I really am. I
Yeah,
really am.
I agree.
I really wanted to see her finish that race.
Yeah, I agree. I was in a bit of a conflict there at the end of that race because we had Rajah and Sanchez on the front row, and I was like, "Go Rajah! No, go Nick! Go Rajah!" Like I was just like screaming back and forth because I wanted them both to win, but unfortunately, they both couldn't. And say what we will about Ankrum, he is leading the points, so see if he can keep the momentum rolling. But yes, heartbreak, Tony Breidinger. She was doing so good. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Truck race. Disaster. Garbage. I mean, what happened to the truck series? 5 years ago, this was the best series in all of NASCAR, and how far it has fallen. It is unbelievable. It is the worst series in NASCAR. And I will explain that when we get into the ARCA race here. Oh, wait. Well, I'll go over that in a bit. I was going to say Brett Holmes ends up P4 in the truck race. I mean, he was up there all night long. He well-deserved P4 finish there. So I just thought I'd mention him. He'll be also a Driver of the Week nominee as well. ARCA race. Again, theme of the week. Big one on lap 4. Tony Breidinger gets taken out. SVG gets ran into. We called it on the podcast. ARCA brake moment's going to kill SVG's car. And it did. Took out half the Venerini cars. I think Balkan was out. Chris Wright was out. JGR car with Gray was out. But Tony Breidinger, I love it, man. I love it. I love the emotion. I love the drama. I love the passion she showed in her post-race interview. I want more of it. That was the passion that you could tell, like she was in the moment, man. That was awesome. That was awesome to see. I mean, although what she said, I feel like was inaccurate, throwing the shade at Gustine like she did. But I don't care. I love the passion, and I say what you will about Gustine, whatever. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. But I love the passion. I don't know how you feel about it, but I love the passion.
Same. I love it.
It is great.
Hey, you get a hell of a lot more passion out of her than any other female driver.
That is true. That is 100% true. And honestly, she's doing amazing. She's doing amazing. And I'm just excited to see where this goes. It's just her first full season in ARCA, which is hard to believe. I mean, she's with so many starts she's had in ARCA. See what she does as the season progresses. I want to talk about Big Willie. Big Willie Mullins next. This is my guy right here. This guy, I don't remember what part of the race this was, but this dude, he hasn't qualified on pole. Let's put that into perspective. He qualifies on pole, upset freaking pole winner here. Then he goes out and proceeds to get turned in, I believe, in turns 3 and 4. Makes a save that Kyle Busch would be jealous of. I mean, this guy, man, he was fully left, fully right, corrected it, got back on track, and kept going. Like, save of the century. I mean, god damn, dude. I was screaming at the TV like, go Big Willie, holy hell, man. And then it was like great, like great poetry, like all great stories go. It always has to have a climax, and that climax was when a big wreck happened in front of him. I think it was the 69 car gets turned around. Milton, it was at the 69 car. You see Big Willie in the 3 car. He's probably 200-300 yards, just like the dad Tad had Moffitt wreck. You're like, oh, he's fine. He'll get through this. And he just proceeds to get closer and closer to the 69 car. And the closer he got, the more square he was aimed up to the back of the 69 car.
Dude, he turned into a straight Sidewinder missile right there. Just a heat seeker. He went straight. He found that guy on track and was like, I'm going to hit this MF. And he did it. And he did it. It was wild. I was like, what? I was watching it live, right? And I was just like, this guy's going to hit him. You know,
I jumped out of my chair and I'm like, that damn idiot! What the hell is he doing? And the replay made it, like, seeing it live, I thought it was stupid. Worse. And then the replay made it even worse.
Man. Daniel Kvyat would be proud of that.
It's like that dude like stole his candy or something and ran over his dog before the race, man. It was like he intentionally was trying to take him out. I mean, it was crazy, dude. And then he gets out of the car and he's all doing this stuff to the crowd. I'm like, just live it up, man. Live up your moment. So, with that being said, Big Willie Mullins is going to be the very first Jacob Boys nominee for Driver of the Week and Bonehead Move of the Week in the same week.
Oh, man.
I mean,
what an honor.
Dude, his race was like a story, dude. Like if, you know, when you like read a really good story, like a really good book, and it has its humble beginnings, and then you have like your little bit of rise to success. Then you have your tragic downfall, and then your great honorable ending. It was all wrapped into one story. It was the humble beginnings with the underfunded team. He has a little bit of triumph with a pole, and then his miraculous climb to the top with the incredible save. And then the tragic downfall of him just heat seeker missile into the Milton. And then the kind of the heartwarming finish with him with the celebration as he climbs into the ambulance.
The encore. Him going like this to the crowd. Yes.
This is so great.
Yes, beautiful. It's the ballad of Big Willie.
The ballad of Big Willie. He's my hero, man. I want to be Big Willie someday, man. What an awesome guy, man. Alrighty, and then we'll talk about the final restart. So, ARCA doesn't have green, white, checker finishes like the other series, like the Trucks Cup and Xfinity. They have a thing where they do a one-lap shootout. All day long, the 2 Venerini cars, Finch, Dean were probably the best 2 cars all day. Really worked together all day long. Finch would always just be leading and Gus would be pushing him to the end. Team order restarts or teammate restarts, hunky donkey, whatever you want to call it, where you let your teammate clear in front of you and then you kind of just push them on from there. They did that all night long, get this final restart, and I know Venarini went up to both pit boxes. We're trying to convince both teams to do that again for this final restart. Gustine, I'm hearing, said, yes, I will do that. The green flag comes out. Gustine ends up taking the lead and doesn't do the whole teammate restart. Goes on to win. Mine and Tom's pick. We love this guy. This guy gets the win. I was elated for him, super excited. And it seemed like Venarini was not excited about it one bit. It seems like they were devastated.
Didn't social media just blow up after he won that race?
Unbelievable.
Talking about how big of a dirtbag Gustine was. Man, what did Tony Stewart say?
Yeah.
I'd wreck my grandma for a championship. I'd wreck my grandma for a race win. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was in that position, screw the other guy. I'm trying to win this damn thing.
Yeah. I put the blame on Finch. I put the blame on Finch. Even if he says, if somebody's going to say they're going to do something, don't freaking trust him on the last lap at a race. Just take the security and just take the inside line. That was his own damn fault. That's an experience, and that's being, what do they call it? Way too trusting. Way too trusting. I put that on Finch as much as I put on Dean, and Dean did awesome. He deserved that win. He deserved that win. And Breidinger had her things to say about Dean, and if you look at it, it's the same thing we said about the Rajah Caruth, Corey LaJoie wreck. It's the same thing we said about the Byron and the Bowman wreck. It's just the way it is in these cars. I mean, you're pushing, push goes awry, cars start wrecking. It's the product of what Super Speedway is anymore. You can't get mad about it anymore. That's just what it is. So, I mean, I love the passion for Breidinger, even though what she said was pretty much false, but I still love the passion. I love it. Keep bringing it.
Yeah. And honestly, anybody who agrees with that, with the Gustine being a dirtbag, I mean, you can really just stay mad, honestly. Yeah. Because Gustine brought home the trophy.
Yeah. And he's about that? And the paycheck, so he doesn't care what you think.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? And Gustine is a freaking awesome dude, man. Like, he's a great dude. The first time I met him, we shared a dumpster with them, and I'm over here cutting up ballast for light fixtures, and I'm recycling the ballast, and then cutting the wire and putting the wire in a wire recycler. And Gustine rolls in with a bunch of metal scraps and throws it in our dumpster, and that was the first time I ever met him. And nice freaking dude. So I mean, I loved it. I loved the celebration at the end, and he deserved it. I hate anybody that says he didn't deserve that win or he's a dirtbag. They can stay mad, like Tom said. Stay mad. One more thing I want to talk about the ARCA race, though. Everybody's crapping on the ARCA race and comparing it to the truck race, and I completely freaking disagree with you, and here's why. If you take away the wrecks that happen and you look at just the pure racing product with the trucks and the ARCA individually, the ARCA package is freaking amazing. I love the way those cars race at super speedways. You had separation. You had big runs being developed. You saw guys being able to lag back and then reattach to the draft and be able to slingshot out. And then if they didn't have help, they might be able to get right there and not be able to clear. And then they come back. It reminded me of like 2006, 2007 pre-COT Daytona racing. It was amazing. I enjoyed it a ton. I loved it. It was awesome. That might not be your cup of tea, but for me, I loved it. I was so much nostalgia. I was watching that race because they had like 10, 12 lap green flag runs at certain points on the race. And I'm sitting back and I'm just like, this is awesome. We're all in one single line on the bottom, but you saw runs being developed. You saw guys being able to make 2 or 3 moves. And you're like, wow, you can really tell that the best cars are up front right now. And I love that about that race. And I don't know how you feel about it, but that's the way I feel. I really enjoyed it. You might disagree with me, honestly, and that's okay because that was just kind of nostalgic for me.
Yes. No, I mean, I agree with you.
Oh, you agree?
Well, it was something different than the status quo, right?
Right.
And I like that. I don't like mainstream, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean,
I like tandem drafting.
Yeah, well, that's what it kind of looked like. It was kind of like a tandem draft without the lock and bumpers. That was really the only difference. I mean, you saw like, what was it? Van Alst. His car was really good. Andy Jankowiak. I mean, that's another thing I want to talk about. We talked about this guy last, happy-go-lucky. What did he say at the end of it? Exactly what you said. I'd wreck my grandma for a win at Daytona. Well, this guy is...
He said, He said, what was it? I'm either gonna see God or see the checkered flag.
Yeah,
Or something like
dude. I love this guy, man. This guy is my hero. I knew from the first time I saw him win that outlaw go-kart track and he won and he's all celebrating. I'm like, I like this guy. I really do. Like, I really just want him to succeed. Like, he's a damn pizza delivery guy, dude. For Pete's sake, he takes his tips just so he can afford. He's got like a 20-year-old chassis that he strings together to make every race. He's like going off the ultimate American dream, man. He's a pizza delivery guy on weekdays and he's a damn race car driver on the weekends. I love it, man. I love it. That guy is an inspiration to me, and his personality and attitude is it's supreme. He is humble. He is funny. He's happy-go-lucky. Like, that is the type of guy we need in NASCAR for sure. I love it. What a great race. What a great race. Let's go through some comments here. Steven says ARCA has breakaways. We need this. I'm not lifting till I see God or the checkered flag.
Yeah,
that's what he said. Yeah. I love it, man.
That's like quote of the year already.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
Quote of the year.
It's so great, man. I love it. We need to make a T-shirt with his face on it. That would be good. I kind of want to wear one, dude. I'm a huge Andy J fan now. I'll be pulling. He's my dark horse pick every week this year, and I'm not changing. Alrighty. Xfinity race again. Like I said with the ARCA race, I think the Xfinity race was awesome. We saw Jesse Love qualify on pole. We said that the RCR guys were going to be quick, and they were. And then lap 23, the infamous lap 23. We see a major wreck happening here. And guess who wrecks into him with the arc break moment of the century here? Your superstar herself, Miss Haley. What's her boyfriend's name? No, that's Decker.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
What's the difference?
Yeah, what is the difference? But she piles in here, man. Unreal, dude. I don't want to. I got what I want to say, but I want to hear what you got to say first, and then I'll go into what.
Honestly, the best part about that whole deal. All right, she makes contact, it demolishes the front end of her car, but then she goes back for seconds after the whole wreck is done. She goes and hits 2 more cars after the fact, after everybody stopped on track. I mean, this is comedy entertainment at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. This is great.
And the problem is, dude, is there was a video on YouTube. This is what. Okay, well, how do I set this up? All right, I'll just go into my point. I'll just make this as concise as I can. She has a post-race interview with, I think, Front Stretch, and the first thing out of her mouth, she starts blaming somebody else for her being in that wreck. And then you read the comment section, and it's simp after simp after simp. The same old crybaby, wine bag, toddler responses that we see every time, blaming everybody else. It was not Deegan's fault. They are idiots in the Xfinity series. What was it? What was it? The truck series guys are idiots. They wreck all the time. They're idiots, and she needs to get away from them. So she goes to the Xfinity series, same crybaby wine bag routine. They've been telling you for the last year and a half that she needs to go to Xfinity because she can get away from all the idiots. And then the first race, she wrecks ARCA brake intentionally, on purpose, her own fault, blames somebody else, and her fans go into this routine of, she needs to get out of the Xfinity series. These guys are a bunch of idiots. They all they do is wreck. And it's like, what is going on? All right, here's my response to all of you Haley Deegan lovers, fans, simps, crybaby wine bags, mama basement liver dwellers,
ankle lookers.
Ankle lookers. Here's my response to you. Tony Breidinger, in less Truck Series starts, has already embarrassed and outperformed Haley Deegan's entire 3-year truck career. She got outcompeted and outperformed by an OnlyFans model in the same race. The Iron Dames are out here winning races in the WEC series. The WEC! all female lineup. Jamie Chadwick is finding performance in the Indy NXT. She's an F1 Academy champion, multiple time champion. And watch what she does this year. Haley Deegan is garbage. She is the embarrassment of modern NASCAR for women race car drivers. Call me a chauvinist all you want, but I just gave you like 8 examples of better female race car drivers than Haley Deegan. I hate to tell you this. You're going to have to come out of the darkness eventually. You're going to have to see the light of day. Get out of your grandma's basement. Get off of your Instagram book face talk and listen to what's going on and see what is happening in the world around you. You are delusional. This is nobody else's fault but her own. She blames other people. Her damn boyfriend is a better race car driver than she is, and it's sad. And I hate to say this. Because I am a huge supporter of female race car drivers. But she ain't it. She is not it at all.
Ain't it?
Do you have anything to say, Tom? I got to cool down for a second. I'm red. I am beaming. I am over this. I'm over these Sims, man.
Man. I don't really. I think the biggest takeaway here is that Natalie Decker in a Joey Gase car did what?
Led laps.
She did. She led laps.
It finished in the top 20.
Oh God, that's gotta be
something Deacon couldn't even do in the truck series. Yeah. She struggled to even get a top backing. 20
with Ford backing. With Ford, they have Ford behind them. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it with the championship caliber crew chief. He tried his damnedest.
Yeah, he ran away.
She was talking about turn 1 when the conversation was about turn 3. Golly.
Rich Lucius, he ran away. Quit. He went back to Ben Rhodes. He's like, I can't do this anymore.
They won the championship. Oh my God.
And the sad thing is Brett Moffitt's sitting at home this weekend watching this, and he's like, those are my boys. Those are my boys. We could have won this race. And here I am sitting on my couch.
Brett Moffitt, I am so sorry. They did you dirty, my guy.
Oh, man.
They did you dirty. Man, if you could just split half that budget and give it to Tony Breidinger, holy shit, we might have a champion.
Dude, I think you might even be able to make a drive out of Natalie Decker. Say what you will, but damn, dude. Her equipment compared to Deacon's was like night and day difference, dude. She finished in the top 20. Something Deacon was only able to do like a handful of times in 3 years in a championship-winning truck team. Come on.
Yeah, and Tanner Gray outperformed her in a hand-me-down truck at DGR.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
unbelievable, dude.
They're setting Tanner Gray's truck up at the track, not even at the shop, at the track, and he goes out there, outqualifies, outperforms every freaking race.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. No Blackwell in the chat. Thanks for showing up, bud. He says, I hate those so much. Are you talking? I'm guessing Haley Deegan maybe is who you're talking to. Oh, when you're Deegan, you got money. Yeah, that's true. She's got a lot of daddy's money, a lot of monster money, and Ford money. Yep. And we are going to have to listen to her cancerous fans for the next 2 years tell us that we are chauvinists, we are idiots, and it doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't. And I don't know. We could go on forever here, but we're gonna move on. Where were we? Okay, Jesse. Jesse Love wins stage 1. That was notable. Then we had a wreck in the second stage, actually involving Jesse Love and Nemechek and Hill. Yeah, and this really looked like the turning point for Austin Hill, right? It looked like this was gonna be a race he wasn't gonna win. It was like, man, it feels like everybody's got a chance now. But fortunate for them, they got their car put back together, and he ends up coming back to win stage 2. I mean, that changed in a handful of laps. I mean, it goes from a wreck to winning stage 2 and with a damaged race car. I guess the other major incident here is we had a restart late in this race, and Riley Herbst gets a restart penalty. He ends up going before the guy on the outside. I know they're mad about it or whatever, and I don't know. I feel like it was a Big Daddy NASCAR moment, but then again, I'm like, Herbst did go in front of him, but then again, it's like, why the hell are we doing these freaking I don't know, man. I don't know. The NASCAR restarts have just been such a problem over the last few years. You have guys getting penalized because they start on the inside line, they go below the white line going across the line because there's a checkup. They don't improve their position, but then they get a restart violation. And then you got guys pushing into you to push you in front of the guy that's leading on the restart, and then you get the violation, not the guy pushing you in front of the guy. Like, I don't know what to think. Do you think he got dirtied here, or do you think it's just he did make the penalty? Big Daddy NASCAR. What's your thoughts on this?
You know what, Jay? I'm gonna say it in that Riley Herbst situation. I think they made the right call. Really do. I think that and maybe my Ryan Sieg biasm is showing a little bit, but regardless, I don't think that I don't think that I don't think that I don't know. I don't think they made the wrong call, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it enough to get a good opinion of it. I just know that it stinks if Riley Herbst, right?
Yeah.
Looks like we have Nate in the chat here. Jumped on Discord. Are you there, man?
Boys?
Hey,
Hi.
we're on the podcast right now. You want to be on?
Oh, wow. I didn't. It says live right next to your name. I just saw that.
Yeah. Well, here's Nate from the King Camo making his appearance on the podcast.
What's up, guys?
Heck yeah,
Awesome
man.
to be on. Sorry for the raid.
Oh, that's fine, man. If anybody's gonna come raid us, we're glad it was you, man.
That's cool. What are you guys talking about tonight?
Oh, we're just talking about some NASCAR races from this weekend. Talking about Daytona 500. We're just getting pretty much wrapped up here towards the end of this podcast. So, yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah,
Talking
I'm
about Xfinity Series right now.
looking forward to the Dega games. That's for sure.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. Yeah, here, let me adjust the cameras if you want to hang out for a little bit while we're at the end of this podcast.
Nate, you got a webcam?
I do not.
Oh, that's fine. We'll work with it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Let me just get these cameras set here for we can see me and Tom here. And let's see. Just a few things here, and then we're all good to go. Alrighty. So, Tom, where were we here? Oh, we're gonna talk about the final shootout here, 3-lap shootout. Austin Hill wins the race, but let's talk about old Jordy Anderson. Tom,
Jordy,
you are the man. Talk about Jordy for a minute.
Jordy, like, do we go back and talk about it a little bit, or like go back?
It's your moment, man. You share the love with Jordan Anderson or not.
All right,
I don't care.
look,
Take it where you want to go.
I had this, I guess, privilege to work on Jordan Anderson's truck when I was in the truck series. Great guy, kind of a goofball, kind of lanky. I mean, he's just one of those dudes where you're just like, I think he's part of a church. I don't think he's a NASCAR driver, you know. But old Jordy, right? Where did Jordy come from? Jordan. We were P2 at Daytona 2015, and we in the truck series, caution flag flew. We were 2 laps to go to the end of the race. Under caution, I could hear the crew chief come up over the radio. Jordan, turn on your fans. Your rear diff's getting a little hot. And he goes, okay, done. Well, when he said done, he meant the truck wasn't moving no more. The whole rear end exploded like a damn grenade around. Just the whole thing blew. Here's the damnedest thing, though, Jake. There's a temp gauge for the fluid going through the rear end. So that thing was going full tilt right in his face, blinking red. And well, it's like a like a 16-year-old new licensed driver. When the check engine light comes on, duct tape.
Duct tape. Turn the stereo up and
Yeah,
duct tape
yeah.
the gauges.
Yep, exactly what. And so we had a legitimate chance. We had a fast truck that weekend. We had a legitimate chance for old Jordan Anderson's first Daytona race to bring her home. And after the race, it was quite comical from my end, not comical from the other side, but just the old Jordy, was a thing, and it kind of did a little thing like this, and kind of maybe a little window licking. Jordy, turn on your fans, Jordy. Yeah, so that's where old Jordy comes from. But I can't.
I can't believe it.
He found himself in the same position as he has been in before, and he's. Oh wait, he recovered well. Let's put that down right now. But holy shit, the block he tried to non-existent block he tried to make there, and it just shot him all the way to the back. I mean, it was like a lap of hope.
It wasn't even a lap, dude.
And then we got Flint, Michigan.
Oh man.
That's what we got.
Oh man.
All the way to the back. Maybe yeah, I'm not gonna say that, but all the way to the back goes Jordan Anderson. And he got lucky with the wreck in front of him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna make my point real quick with the Jordan Anderson thing, and then I want to ask Nate if he watched Daytona 500 and if he has any thoughts about that and the finish and everything there as well. But my thought here on Jordan Anderson, man. Oh my goodness, dude. We were in the watch party. I was a little inebriated. It was a little inebriated, just having a good time doing the watch party. But I thought we had like entered a second dimension, parallel universe. I was like, I think I sat here for 10 minutes. I can't believe Jordy's in leading this race. Jordy, what? Jordy, no way Jordy's winning this. Not even. And then it wasn't even, like Tom said, it was like a lap and he was already in the back. It wasn't even a lap, dude. The hype was all during the pace laps. They get into off of turn 2 and he's already like in 12th. I'm like, okay. But yeah, he did rebound to P3. And with that, we're going to end up nominating for Driver of the Week. But with that being said, before we get into these last couple segments, Nate, did you get a chance to catch the Daytona 500 if you were here?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not. I was busy painting guns.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's what we're going to ask you here at the end as well about what you're working on. So, Tom,
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Obviously, it wasn't that important.
Yeah, we'll open it up to you here at the end, Nate, so you could talk about a little bit what you got going with King Camo. Actually, this is a great, awesome opportunity that you're here in this podcast because this is some great stuff here. We get to get some behind the scenes with King Camo. We've been wanting to get you on some podcasts in the past. This kind of just works out perfectly here. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. So for the end of this podcast, we have 2 more things. We're gonna look at the cut points. Oh, we got a couple more things actually. Excuse me. So, driver of the week, we're gonna nominate Brett Holmes, like I said, in the trucks, as well as Jordan Anderson in the Xfinity, respectively, P4 and P3. And then, like I mentioned earlier, man, my boy, big old Willie Mullins, he's gonna get nominated for driver of the week for getting the pole and that incredible, godlike, video game style freaking save he had. Unbelievable. I was in awe, man, at that save. So that will nominate him. And then obviously we got to nominate Tad Moffitt for the Arca break moment in the trucks. And then, like I said, big Willie Mullins with that incredible Arca break master of the century move. Heat-seeking missile.
The Sidewinder.
The Sidewinder. The first driver in Dega Boys history to be nominated for driver and bonehead move of the week in the same week. Willie Mullins, big Willie, man. This guy should have a book. It's unbelievable.
The
And
Ballad
then,
of Big Willie.
yeah, the Ballad of Big Willie, like Tom said. I love it. I love it. And then your superstar herself, Haley Diggin, for her arc of break moment. And not even that, but the blame somebody else for not knowing how to use a brake pedal. So
Lord
we'll
have
put those
mercy.
polls up after this podcast for you guys to vote on. So we're curious to see what you guys think for those. And then for the Cup Series points, the top three, Byron is your points leader with 54. Bowman is second. He's 4 points behind Byron. And then Bell, P3, 44 points behind Bowman, which is kind of funny because these guys are all top three in points, but they also finished top three in the Daytona 500. And that's also including stage points and also including dual points. So that's pretty interesting that they finished top three in the Daytona 500 and they're the points leaders. So interesting how that worked out. Alrighty, let's make our picks this weekend for the Atlanta races. We got Trucks Xfinity Cup at Atlanta. Really the last weekend before we get back into everything. I mean, WEX right around the corner on the second, Formula One on the second, IndyCar on the 10th. So this weekend, notable entries in the trucks, we got Toby Howard in the number 1 Tricon truck. We got Kyle Busch in the number 7 Spire. And old Connor Jones is making a return to the truck series in the number 66 Thorsport truck. In the Xfinity, we got JJ Yaley in the SS Greenlight truck, or Xfinity car. Not sure if it'll be prepared by colleague this time like it was at Daytona. Jeffrey Earnhardt will be in the number 26 Sam Hunt Racing. Old Jordy's back. He's going to give her another good old college try here. Full set half mast here for Jordan Anderson in the number 32 Jordan Anderson Racing vehicle. And then Nick Lights will be in the number 92 DGM this weekend, replacing, I believe it was Weatherman that was in that car at Daytona. So, and then the Cup Series, we got Rick Ware Racing. We got Kaz Grall in the number 15. Josh Williams. Remember, this is where Josh Williams put himself on the map at Atlanta last year. And look how it came full circle. And now he's running in the Cup Series for his first career start in the number 16 colleague car. So that's pretty damn cool how it comes first the Pro Circle. And then BJ McLeod, the number 78 Live Fast vehicle, he will not miss this race because we're only 37 on the entry list. So we will see BJ McLeod racing this weekend, which I'm super happy for after that valiant effort to make it into the 500 on dual Thursday. All right, Tom, let's make our picks. So Nick I already kind of precursed it.
You said it.
Yep. The Truck Series race on Friday. We have the Freight 208. Nick Sanchez. He is my boy. This season, I am a homer for Raja and Nick Sanchez. I want them to win every race under the sun. Nick Sanchez, exceptional freaking talent. He is going to do great things. I think he wins this race. If you remember last year, he had this race won. He led damn near all of it and found a way to lose at the end. So, yeah, Nick Sanchez. And then my dark horse here, he's in that number 13 Thorsport Championship winning equipment. He's going to show what this equipment can do at his hometown track in Atlanta, Georgia. That is going to be your sophomore driver, Jake Garcia. He's going to prove that 13 truck is not a fluke. What happened the last 3 years is a joke. And that 13 truck is here to win some races this year because they got a talented driver behind the wheel, and that is Jake Garcia. That's my dark horse pick.
Come on. All right. My favorite, which is going to be probably the same song all year, Grant Enfinger, because he's my homie. I dig the dude. He's a great driver with the new team. Same talent. We'll see him in victory lane this year very soon. I think he could start in Atlanta. And then for my dark horse, I got to do it. That's my boy, Raja Caruth. He could absolutely get it done. His performance in Daytona was freaking stellar. Made one small mistake. It cost him. But guess what? We're going to another super speedway race. And second chances. Second chances are lovely. Raja.
Oh, yeah. I love Raja. And if pretty soon, by the end of this year, he's no longer going to be a dark horse. He's going to be a favorite.
Yeah.
So,
yep. That's
so
right. I'm getting my time in now. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Raja is the next best thing. I don't care what you say, man. I love Raja. He's such a great dude, man. He's a talented race car driver. He's great for NASCAR. I'm excited for the future for him. And then on Saturday, the Xfinity race, the Raptor King of Tough 250. I'm doing it, man. I predicted in the offseason he was going to win the Xfinity Series Championship this year. And I think Tom predicted he was going to win 5+ races this year. So I didn't take him at Daytona, but this is going to be the time. It's Creed time, baby. It's Creed time, baby, to shine. Sheldon Creed is gonna win this race. Those Toyotas are gonna be super fast this weekend in the Xfinity Series in Atlanta. Sheldon Creed is owed one. The NASCAR gods are gonna shine upon him this weekend, and it's gonna start a chain reaction of a Creed championship season. Creed gets the job done this weekend. My dark horse, I'm gonna stick with it because I feel like Daytona, you got a bad shake. He was involved in one of those early incidents. I'm going Parker Kligerman. I love this guy, man. He's gonna also win some races this year. He's like a lot with Creed sentiment. He is the racing gods owe him one. Last year, if you remember, he was gonna win this damn race until Daniel the Hack Hemrick decided to be Daniel the Hack Hemrick, and instead of pushing Kligerman to the win, he decides to wreck him. So I'm gonna take Kligerman for some redemption here, and maybe potentially win this race if Creed finds another way to lose one.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to share the love this weekend. I'm also going to choose Creed for my favorite. Look how freaking stellar he did in Daytona. Could he have done that in the number 2 RCR? Absolutely not. They would have screwed him over. Now with the JGR equipment, completely severed ties with RCR. Good for him. RCR, you screwed up, and this is the weekend. This is the weekend of Creed, I think.
I agree.
And for my dark horse, I'm throwing it back to last year when that man came on the scene. I became a big fan. Middle fingers up in the air, waving to the fans, pointing at the NASCAR officials, flipping them off. I'm going with Josh Williams.
But da-na-na-na-na. It's fucking D-O-double-G Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
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 Love it. I love it. How a year can change, man, for an entire man's career trajectory. I love it.
Look, I'm
Making
gonna
his
be
first
honest
cup
with you.
start this weekend too. Unbelievable.
You to make it in the top sports now, you have to be a headline.
You
And
have
he was
to.
a headline, and man, did it work out for him. GG's, you did it, my guy. Now let's go win some races.
Heck yeah. I'm here for it. And then for the Cup Series. The Cup Series on Sunday, the Am Better Health 400. I'm just going to run it back. I'm going to go Keselowski. I think for some reason he just can't win a damn Daytona race. For some reason the 500 is just going to elude him forever, I think. I don't think he'll ever win one. I'm devastated for him, especially getting involved in that last incident there. He had a car capable of winning. I think he wins this race. Again, like I've gone with this sentiment for all my picks with guys that, for my favorites or dark horses, guys that nearly won this race last year. Keselowski was leading this race on the white flag lap, led it down the backstretch, and got passed by Logano at the end. I think he gets redemption this year, and I think he wins this race. And then for my dark horse, I don't like this guy. I don't think he's it. I don't think he has the talent. But if there's one track I look at that he does not have a bad performance at, somebody that is going to be there at the end, someone's really good at pushing, someone that's going to put himself in position, he's in the right equipment, that's Austin Cindric. This is probably the only race all year I will pick him as a dark horse pick. And this is it, Cindric.
Bro, that's kind of a yikes.
It is a yikes. I hate to do it, but I mean, I can't deny the stats and the facts, man. Like, if there's one track he can do it, it's this one.
I'm gonna go a little abstract here, okay? And the reason why I'm doing this is because I agree with you, Jay. I think the Fords are going to be strong again. I think the Toyotas are going to be extremely strong. But what did we find at the end of the race there? We found players who got to the front, got some clean air, and actually had some pretty decent race cars, right? What did Ross Chastain do at the end there? He was effectively blocking the Fords. He was doing a phenomenal job. And even when he made a mistake and let Joey Logano come side by side with him, he would find a way to get back out in front and block Joey Logano. That was a phenomenal performance. And that is why I'm going to choose Ross Chastain for my favorite this weekend.
That's a good pick.
I think that given some good circumstances coming his way, and with Chevrolets, just in general, good luck come to Chevrolets. Just a little good look, get them out front, get them some clean air. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think that Ross Chastain learned a lot at Daytona about plate racing. I think he's going to take it to Atlanta. And then for my dark horse, because I have high hopes for him this year. Didn't really get a chance in Daytona. When did he wreck? It wasn't.
It was in the big wreck, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't feel like he really got to stretch and show his muscles a little bit. I just don't think that it was a fair showing for Gibbs. So I'm going to choose Gibbs for my dark horse this weekend, um, with the fact that we're going to see that 54 car in victory lane this year.
Multiple
I'm going to
times.
guarantee it right now. It's going to happen. Whether it didn't start at Daytona, obviously, but I think it could absolutely start in Atlanta.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great pick. I think this is the year for Gibbs for sure. So there it is. Those are our picks. One more in the chat. We got Jersey Bear. Hey, Jared's back in the chat. He said, speaking of phenomenal, did you see Haley Deegan? Yeah, dude. Rewind this podcast about 40 or 30 minutes ago, and you'll get a great little rant here from us. It was awesome. So I'll clip it. That'll be a clip this week for you guys to all enjoy at home. And then read the comments because that is the best part. Alrighty, NASCAR fantasy, and then I'm gonna open this up to Nate after that to talk about the King Camo and whatnot. So for my 5-driver lineup for fantasy, to preface this, my fantasy was garbage. I think my entire fantasy lineup wrecked on that final wreck there. I think I scored like 72 points the whole week. I had like 3 drivers score like 5 points or less. It was bad. Tom is actually P2 right now in the fantasy league, so don't listen. So listen to him, not me.
No,
but
look. I don't even know how I pulled that out. Okay. I
don't
know. It's not even fair. Daytona's not even fair.
I mean, I feel like we're again in another situation where it's not even fair, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick with it. Keselowski, I think he's going to win this race. I put him on there. Byron won this race last year. Put him on there. Logano won this race last year. Put him on there. Like Tom said, I think that's a great pick with Chastain. I'm putting Chastain on my fantasy as well. And then I'm going to throw my dark horse in there. The stats and the facts, I mean, you can't hide from them. This is Cindric's best track in the Cup Series without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to be up there. He's got the right teammates to work with all night long. So I'll put Cindric. I think he's going to be a good points earner, especially in those stages. I think the stages are where I'm going to get my points out of him.
Yeah. And that's effectively where I'm going with my lineup. Denny Hamlin, phenomenal plate track racer. Keselowski, phenomenal plate track racer. Joey Logano, phenomenal plate track racer. Ross Chastain really flexed last week. I'm running on that momentum. William Byron, I mean, come on, he's great everywhere. You can't go wrong picking him anywhere. He's going to score stage points. He's going to score race finish points. I mean, wouldn't it be just freaking crazy if that dude went back to back?
It's possible. 100% possible.
Absolutely possible.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now for the matchups. We got 24 and 11. Denny Hamlin versus William Byron. I'm going to go Byron with a lot of things you just said.
Jay, I would have gone William Byron too, but I'm going to risk it a little bit. It's early in the season. I'm going to go with the 11 over 24. And look, this is a phenomenal matchup. It really is.
Yeah,
it's a great matchup. I mean, we got a seasoned veteran, phenomenal plate track racer against William Byron, who's up and coming. You can't get better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like that we're a little different there as well. That's gonna shake things up for the fantasy. And then Bowman versus Bell. I'm gonna take Bowman. He again, like I said with my picks for the race win, he was another one of those guys that damn near won this race last year. Thing would have won one way or the other. He probably could have won that race. He had probably the best car all day long in that race, and nobody remembers, but I do. I think he gets a better finish than Bowman, or than Bell. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree with Bowman over Bell. And historically, Bell has been non-existent at the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Second half of the season turns up. So I'm gonna ride that theory. I'm gonna take Bowman early season hype with the 48 over the 20.
Yeah. And with these matchups too, it doesn't matter with stage points and all that. It's just heads up at the end of the race.
Heads up.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm thinking. And then Keselowski, Logano. Like you said with Hamlin and Byron, this is a great matchup. Keselowski, Logano. Yeah. I'm going Keselowski, and the only reason is because I'm predicting him to win the race. And so it's really just splitting hairs though, because Logano could easily win this race too. And it is an even number year. Logano is the man on an even number year, so this is a tough one. But if I had to just throw a dart at a dartboard, I'm gonna go Keselowski just purely off of my pick of him winning.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna choose different from you because again, phenomenal matchup. You can't go wrong with picking either one of these. Both in the Ford camps, both are going to be extremely fast. Great choice with Keselowski, great choice with Logano. I'm going to choose Logano because differing from Jay.
Yeah. I like it. I like that we're different on some of our matchups. That's where the points are going to get earned, or where they're going to split the points towards the season.
Yeah.
It's a long season of fantasy, so these the matchups are crucial. And then the final one here is Bubba versus Elliott. I'm going Bubba, and it's purely because Elliott is not it. This is going to be a bad year for Elliott again. Don't let the stage 1 Daytona win fool you. He did win a stage at Talladega last year. Didn't mean anything. I think Elliott is just Elliott reminds me of Dell Jr. When Dell Jr. Right before he made that switch over to Hendrick, he had the wins, he had the championship pedigree, and then it just fell off a cliff, and the rest of his career kind of was on that trajectory. I think that's where Elliott's looking at, a Dell Jr.-esque career, and I think it began last year, and I think we're just right in the middle of
Yeah. I can't wait to see the tears, baby.
it. Especially the Georgia boy.
I'm gonna go with the 23 over the 9. I mean, you got to do something spectacular now to change my opinion. Is Bubba Wallace better than a better driver than Chase Elliott right now? Yes, he is. Sorry. If you disagree with it, you're wrong. just let's look at the finishes, the last 10 finishes. All right. All right. He had a good showing at Daytona. Okay, cool. What about the second half of the season in 2023? Bubba Wallace really showed up on the map, I think. I think that the 23, or Bubba Wallace just in general, is actually a pretty damn good plate racer. I really do believe it. And yeah, it just I don't think you can change my mind. It's definitely gonna be Bubba Wallace over Chase Elliott. It's got to be an act of God for Chase Elliott to beat him.
I agree. And Bubba's coming off a top 5 in the Daytona 500, so rolling the momentum. Momentum's the thing.
Yep.
All right, we'll go to the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna open this up to Nate. I came in late, was taking my final exam, says Jared. Well, hopefully you did good in your final exam, man. That's awesome. And then Noah Blackwell says, "Did you say floor it? No, floor it. Flooring it." SpongeBob reference. I love
SpongeBob.
it. Alrighty, so we're winding this podcast down, but we have Nate with us tonight with the King of Camo. So I'm gonna open this up to Nate to let him kind of talk about maybe what they're doing at the King of Camo, maybe things they're working on, things to look forward to on their channel. Talk about maybe the day game, something he's excited about. I'll just let Nate kind of take over here.
Nate, I saw a freaking phenomenal clip about what you're working on today. Can you please elaborate?
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, the King of Camo is a gun shop here in North Georgia, and we specialize in customizing your firearms as far as paint, laser engraving, gunsmithing, modifications, custom holsters, and we offer a bunch of everyday carry gear as well. And basically, we spend a lot of our time doing that. The last time I shot a gun before this evening was in October at Range Day, which is pretty embarrassing. But the truth is, we spend the majority of our time working on cool guns. We never get to go shoot them. And I told the guys, I want to change that at the shop this year. I want us to train more. I want us to do more proactive stuff to get better at what we do. And so tonight was the first iteration of that. And we went over to Bullseye Gun Range over here in Cumming, Georgia. And they set up a private IDPA match for us. And it was pretty epic, man. It was all of our first time doing an IDPA match, an actual competition match. So, there was a lot of futtery going on and, people making mistakes and a lot of laughs. But it was a great introduction, and I think we're all addicted to a new sport after tonight.
Yeah. Jay's got to hit the range, man.
Yeah, I haven't been shooting in a while. I've got to really get my A game back up if I'm going to compete. As like Ryan said in the chat, he said, "Woo!" Hashtag team cock or team
Team
T-cock.
cock.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. We had a good time today, and I think you guys are gonna want to have to brush up on your shooting skills for the Dega games.
Hey, look, Ryan and I, we used to put on some team building events when Ryan used to work with me, and just ask him about it, man. Look, we had some great team competitions there, and man, I'm sorry to say, Ryan, but I really think I embarrassed you there a little bit.
Oh, he's driving home right now from our match. He's watching the podcast live in the car right now, and he's literally probably wanting to talk to you. I bet you he gets on Discord.
Oh, that's awesome.
Funny. Yeah, man.
So awesome.
We had a great time tonight, and I think that's something that's kind of important. You know, if you're gonna be a 2A advocate and you're gonna exercise your right and your freedom to own firearms, then you need to be proficient with them. You can't think that you're gonna buy a gun and have it on you without training and be accurate and proficient with it. It's kind of an ignorant thing to think. And at the shop, we're really emphasizing training, and we're trying to encourage people to get more into this type of competitive stuff because it really helps you brush up on your fundamental skills. You really start having to slow down in order to be faster. And we learned some valuable lessons today. And for me, one of them was that, okay, look, I'm a gun owner. I'm a gun store owner. I'm a gunsmith to a certain degree. I should be proficient with a gun. And today I learned that I suck because I haven't been practicing. And it's important to practice that. It's a skill that diminishes with time if you don't use it.
Yes, I can fully attest to that. That is correct. It is something that you can't just go to the range one day and think you're proficient. It's like throwing a football. The first time you throw it, you're terrible, but you think you're great. Until you start to hone in on those skills, you really start realizing your small mistakes you're making, and until you can really gain that muscle memory and the more things go into it, grip strength, how you're flicking your hand when you're throwing the football, all that little tiny details matter when you're practicing with firearms, especially when you find yourself in a situation where you might need to use the firearm. Muscle memory means everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I feel like about 10 years ago, I was training consistently twice, maybe 3 times a week. And I noticed, like, today, after not shooting for almost 4 months, I was like, oh my God, man, this really is a diminishing skill if you don't practice it. And so, like, a lot of things happened today. I was like, oh my God, I need to do this to my gun. I need to adjust my holster. I need a different belt. I need, like, so many things came to realization because I went to the range and I challenged myself, and the rest of the team did as well. And what's really cool is that, like, okay, we did it one round. We did the first stage one round, and then we had the opportunity to redo that stage, and all of us improved. Every single one of us improved. But then we watched one of the guys who does this on a regular basis do it, and he blew us out of the water.
Yeah.
he made us look like amateurs. And so that's just a testament to, okay, I just need more time to develop that muscle memory. And that goes back to what you were saying, Bobby, is, like, yeah, a lot of it really is muscle memory, just like a sport.
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's aren't we so blessed as Americans to have the
Yeah.
Second Amendment?
Yeah, that's what
Aren't we?
Jersey Bear said. America, yeah. Fill in the
And
blank.
Ryan wants a rematch. Boy, you're gonna get a rematch. You better get it.
All right,
Yeah,
so-
Ryan wants a rematch. Ryan actually beat me in 2 competitions this evening.
Nice. That's good news.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it's good news for him in the sense that he beat me at the competition, but he's now fired.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
I'm just kidding. I love Ryan. I would never fire him. Ryan is the best sidekick to have on this earth. He's
Hell
basically
yeah.
he's basically like a special forces operator for the King of Camo. I say, Ryan, will you please call Alex Zedra and ask her if she wants to have a gun painted by us? And Ryan makes one phone call and he's like, Alex is sending us the gun.
Nice.
He's just the man. I said, Ryan, I love what Strike Industries is doing in the industry. I think that they're the most innovative firearms company around. Will you please give them a call and see if they would be willing to collaborate with us? And he comes back, he says, Nate, Strike Industries is sending us a bunch of stuff. It's the best dude to have around, man. He's passionate. He believes in me. He believes in what we're doing. That you will not find anyone with a stronger work ethic and a greater belief in what he's doing. We've all had jobs that we hated. We've all had jobs that sucked, but we had to do them regardless. And when Ryan first started working at the shop, he said, Nate, this is the coolest job I've ever worked in my life. I don't think I ever want to work a different job ever again in my life. And then a year later, he got married and he had to move. And it was not feasible for him to work at the shop anymore. And so for 10 months, we lost Ryan. And I literally thought, like, oh my God, how are we going to do this without him? And we struggled for 10 months. And it wasn't until he came back that we actually came back on the up and up. And now,
you know what my life was like for 10 months?
What?
It was phenomenal. I had no worries. Worries.
Yeah, because Ryan was working with you.
Yep.
Oh man, I want to curse you. No. Ryan is an awesome person to have around. There's no doubt, man. That guy. There's nobody that works harder. He goes for it. He really goes for it. You can tell him no, but he ain't gonna listen to you.
So I've got a couple questions here for you, Nate. So first off, the gun that you just worked on for Tom, excuse me, beautiful gun. Oh my God, I'm blown away. You did such a phenomenal job. Explain, like, maybe what the process is to do something like that. I mean, a lot of us on the channel have seen it, or we showed it off on the channel, but we really don't know what goes behind doing something like that. You want to expand upon that a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, there's coders and there's artists, and I'm both. What you'll find is that there are some who are just one or the other, but I'm both. Like, I've spent so much time recoding firearms that I understand how to do it properly, the right way, in order to ensure the best longevity out of your paint job. And it's really just from experience, doing it for almost 20 years now. It started off as a complete amateur and was doing YouTube University and learning from a bunch of other guys online. And then, but you also learn from experience when you dive in and go do it yourself, Sorry, what was the question again?
Just the process into to making that awesome.
Oh, yeah. So it all kind of ties back in, like I'm a bit of an artist, more so than a coder, but like I started painting Bobby's gun, and I got halfway through it, and I was like, nah, I got it's not right. It's not right. It's got to be special. It's got to be different. It's got to stand out. And what I started doing was going to be a great paint job regardless, but it wasn't quite what I wanted for Bobby. And so I went back to the drawing board, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 tries before you, oh wait, I got it. This is how I'm going to do it. And that's kind of how it went down with Bobby's gun. And Bobby is a badass dude, because he did not complain about his gun being with me for 4 months, which I really appreciate, Bobby. And I really appreciate that. And I know that you probably were like, God, I can't wait to get my gun. But I hope it was worth it, because what transpired was the best creativity that I could come up with for something unique for you, that not only combined kind of the elements that you had asked me for in your paint job, but also some of my own creativity to kind of tie it all together.
Yeah,
And I think it was a great collaboration. I think it turned out
Yes.
absolutely epic.
Yeah, I look, I knew it was in good hands. I kind of gave you a big task though. It's like use your creative juices, man. Just do whatever you got to do. Make it look a classic Nate badass paint scheme, and roll with it, And so I gave you a big task, and honestly, dude, that thing is just absolute. I mean, it is a centerpiece on the wall. I mean, it's almost a crime to shoot it, honestly.
Well, here's the beauty. You totally can. You can use and you can use and abuse that thing, because it's got a badass Duracoat paint job on it, and then I put 2 coats of clear coat on top of that, so you can definitely use and abuse it. And the Dega boys have a lifetime membership to the King of Camo for touch-ups. So
all right.
yeah.
I dig it. I dig
love
it. All your future gun needs.
Right here from the King of Camo.
King of Camo.
Yeah,
I guess
for sure. Have you guys created an Instagram account yet?
no, we have not.
Okay, so I highly recommend that you do that, because we would love to like post your shorts, your stories, your photos on our channel to help transition some of our racing fans, viewers to over to you guys, but also so that we can share certain videos with you guys that you can share with your audience as well. For example, some of the videos and pictures that we did of your gun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
that'd be a great idea for sure. And we'll have to do that and get that going here in the next few weeks for sure, to get that going. I guess my my next and final question here for you, Nate, is I'm not pretty confident with the whole shooting aspect of the Dega games, but I am with the go-karts. I'm feeling really good, really confident, real cocky, I guess you could say. How are you feeling about the go-kart part of this competition?
Well, I got my Fanatec wheels set up right here next to me.
All right.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't done any sim racing in over a year, and I've been jonesing to do it. And I even told Bobby the other day, man, like maybe we should do a little iRacing event, just have a fun little event together. I need to get all my gear set up, because I do have a badass Fanatec wheel and pedal set and the shifter and the handbrake and an Abuto chassis and a VR headset. So I'm right there with you boys. I'm ready to go.
Heck yeah.
And listen, my gaming career has mostly been spent in first-person shooters and racing simulators. So like GP Legends is where I started.
Yeah.
and the progression of all the racing sims, every racing sim that's ever come out, I've always owned and I've always tried. And I have a group of guys that I race with called Eagle Race Team, and we consider ourselves the baddest American drivers.
Heck yeah.
I love it.
Hey, Nate, on a serious note here, to get yourself back into racing, look, we've got some great road racing series coming up for our broadcast side. If you're really looking into getting back into some practice, getting back to some racing, look, we've got a great IMSA league starting on Sunday nights. We've got a great IndyCar league starting Monday nights, and that's starting next week, this weekend. I mean, it's be a great opportune time to get back behind the wheel
and rep a
get
T-Cock
yourself
car.
rep a T-Cock car for sure.
Yeah, gonna have to get in trading paints and make me a badass
There
paint.
you go.
There you go. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so before we wind this podcast down, Nate, is there anything to look forward to on your channel, or how can people reach you, or anything to that effect to see your awesome content and this future uploads you got going on, or anything you got scheduled for the next here on out?
Absolutely. Well, we've recently recorded a series of bunch of badass videos. We had the Dawson County Sheriff's Department out at our shop today, arresting Ryan.
Yes.
Basically, we were creating do's and don'ts of what to do when you get pulled over by law enforcement and you have guns in the car, right? So that's a great video, and it's super high energy, a lot of humor, but a lot of really good information for the public, and for anybody in the 2A community. If you want to know your rights, if you want to know what you should and should not do, you definitely stay tuned for that video. But we also have a really cool video that we recorded last week that's going to air this Sunday, and that is a day in the life at the King of Camo. And
Nice.
you kind of get a perspective of every single one of the individuals that work there. You get an opportunity to see what role we all play at the shop. And well, I'll just say it's going to be pretty comedic as well, because if there was a live camera in the shop broadcasting our channel, we would be canceled in 5. We all have way too much fun to get paid for.
I love it. I love it. Well, this is Nate with the King of Camo. Go find them on YouTube at the King of Camo. That's also got our affiliate channel on our homepage on our YouTube. You can go find their link to their channel there as well. Thanks you, Nate, for showing up here tonight on the podcast. We really appreciate getting some perspective and getting to know you. And I know we got another podcast down the pipeline as well before the Dega games, so we're all going to get together and have a short little Q&A meetup kind of thing for the internet to see. So can't wait to see you on that one as well. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
That's going to be exciting and fun, and I'm really looking forward to heading out to Talladega with you guys. It's going to be my first experience.
Oh boy, are you in for an experience?
It's gonna be great.
I'm preparing myself mentally and physically.
Yes. It seems like how much you try to prepare, you can never be too prepared. That's how it goes. It's gonna be a great time.
Guys, really appreciate you guys letting me put in a word, totally rating your podcast. I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Oh, you're welcome anytime, Nate, for sure. We really appreciate having you here tonight. It's been awesome. It's been great. And I can't wait to get to the Dega games. Like Nate said, we're going to have a blast. Lots of great content. We're going to have a little bit of go-kart racing, shooting competitions, and then all kinds of fun games during our Talladega weekend. And it is going to be just a blast. You can see all kinds of great content footage coming from our channel, from the King of Camo's channel, Conservative Guns and Armors Conservative Guns and Armors channel as well. So just stay tuned for all this great content. We're going to bring more content to you guys to set you guys up for what the Dega games are, and get to meet everybody a part of the channel. And go check out these guys' channel. I'm telling you what, these guys have one of the funniest channels on all of the internet. I die laughing at all your content that I watch. It's always something to just sit back and learn something new, or just have a good laugh if you're having a bad day. I mean, you guys are there, always there.
Well, love what we do. We have a passion for it, and our YouTube channel has recently gained quite a bit of traction, and it's given us the opportunity to really reach a bigger audience. And what we're finding is that we're turning from a local business into a national business because of YouTube. So
Awesome.
like, though YouTube censors us greatly, we're appreciative of the platform, and we're appreciative of our viewers, and really thankful for the progress and all the support.
Heck
Awesome.
yeah. Though there it is. That's Nate from the King of Camo. We'll see more of him here shortly. We're going to wind this podcast down. We've been on air for about 2 hours now. Just want to remind you guys that we're going to have a watch party for March. There's a poll up on the channel right now between the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on the 9th of March for Formula One, the 12 Hours Sebring on the 16th of March for IMSA, the IndyCar $1 Million Challenge on the 24th of March, and then the Richmond Cup Series race on the 31st of March. So vote which race you want to see us do a watch party, and we'll bring one to you. We've already had 3 this year already. I mean, it's crazy. We're just going to keep bringing those back down to you guys here this week.
Please.
Yeah, vote for the IndyCar
Please,
$1 Million
IndyCar.
Challenge.
Please,
IndyCar is what we're
Please.
saying. So please vote for that. We want to do that so bad. And even if it doesn't win, I think we're still going to do it anyway, because this is the race we're most looking forward to. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much for your comments and coming and watching us crazy fine racing folk here on a Tuesday night, ranting and raving about everything NASCAR on this particular Tuesday. We appreciate all you guys' likes, comments, and subscribes over the last. We're closing in on a year, Tom. We're closing in on a year. Holy cow, that's unbelievable.
Whew.
And we're also going to be having a 1-year anniversary here in April 3rd. And also, Tom, I will hand it over to you to talk about all the great action. We have 17 streams in the next 20 days, and Tom's going to talk about a bunch of those here.
All right, so look, podcast today. Tomorrow, NSR Trucks at Daytona. It's going to be the season opener, open setup truck series racing at Daytona. It's going to be insane, as every Daytona race is. The day after that, Xfinity Back Markers Racing League at Michigan. On Saturday, we're back with the PSCRL guys at Las Vegas. Sunday, we got NSR Sports Car Daytona qualifying. It is just a qualifying setup for that night. No racing, but I promise you, it is going to be drama-filled.
Nail biter.
Show up. Please show up. It's going to be phenomenal. Then on Monday, season opener, NSR Grand Prix with the Indy cars at Sebring. Sebring is going to be crazy. You know what? Yes, it's just going to be crazy. I have like a million other words. It's probably not appropriate for YouTube. So, bonkers. And then next Tuesday, podcast once again, and then we're going right back to NSR, the trucks at Las Vegas, and then the Back Markers Racing League at Chicago next Thursday. I mean, like Jay said, what was it? 20 days, 17 schedules?
Pretty much every day. Just tune in here on the Mega Boys. We'll be here streaming, having a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to get all these racing leagues started. All the watch parties we're doing, the podcast. We'll be back again next Tuesday like clockwork. We'll be back here for another podcast. We'll be talking about the Atlanta race and then setting you up for the WEC season opener at Qatar. Then we also have the Formula One's back at Bahrain next weekend. So we can't wait to just get previewed into some of those. Ready for some new racing. If you got the vibe from the beginning of this, we are just ready for something other than NASCAR at this moment with all the shenanigans we've seen so far this year. I just want to say thank you to our channel members. That would be Jimmy Six Time, Joshua Kreider. Thank you so much. Ultimate Diehard. Ultimate shout out here on the podcast. It means the world to us that you're a member of our channel and a big supporter here. And we love having you a part of the Dega Boys group, as well as Dallas Seward being a member of the Boys package. Again, an ultimate shout out as well. Thank you so much, Dallas, for your continued support. I think you're over at 6 months now, Dallas. You've been a supporter from the beginning. We really, really appreciate you. and everything that you do for our channel. Make sure to go follow us on all of our socials. Go follow us on X, Patreon, Facebook, and TikTok. See more awesome, great content like this and stay up to date. Join our Discord. Discord is linked in the description below. Join our Discord for all the hard-hitting news, rumors, Big Daddy moments going on around the motorsports world to stay up to date with everything going on. We keep it updated every single day, baby. You ain't going to miss anything. All kinds of action and news. And then also go check out our merch store. Get you some Big Daddy IMSA, Big Daddy NASCAR. Get us some Dega Boys merch. Go rep the boys. All of those proceeds go back to help us make more great content to put here on YouTube. So it's a win-win. You get swagged out and you're helping us out, grow this awesome, great channel, and reach more awesome audiences that love racing just as much as we do. And with that being said, I think that'll do it. That'll be episode 57 of Full Send Half Mass Podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Daytona races, enjoyed us crazy lunatics here on YouTube, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. And hopefully you guys enjoy the Atlanta races this weekend. Catch y'all in the next one.
duck. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody just calm down.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight in the orbit of Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle